see how we are creating confusion and feeding into habit patterns and causing ourselves to feel kind of suffering, okay, and unhappiness. So that's what we're really trying to see, how we actually contributing and feeding into the confusion we often feel, okay? So that's a big purpose of meditation, actually, is to see how I'm adding kind of fuel to the fire. I mean, there might be a fire anyway, but how I'm adding fuel to the fire. And we often talk in the Insight tradition about, Insight module, about the seeing is the doing. And I think what that really means is that when we really see from our heart how we are actually buying into the habits that cause us suffering again and again and again, at some point it's like some wisdom kicks in and we decide to stop doing that. You know, it's a bit like you hold a burning coal and you're grasping onto it and you realize it's burning you, and at some point you just let go, you know, and you put your hand in the cool water. So I think the insight is really about that, to see how we're doing that, okay? And I think a real big issue with meditation in general and insight is that we're trying to understand how we're making our inner world very solid and real, okay? Make it feel like this is a very solid drama that I'm in, okay? And through the insight, we are getting insight is helping us to see that actually maybe it's not as solid and real as we think it is, okay? Something's going on, but there's some part of us that's actually constructing the solidity and making this whole thing very real, okay? You know, you can think of any day when you kind of having a bad day. At some point, the whole thing becomes like a very solid thing and a very real thing, like quite a bad trip sometimes. So, and our life is like a movie that we are actually walking around like in a 3D movie called our life, okay? And what we're feeling inside and what we're seeing outside is not as solid and real as it seems. Definitely there's a vividness and a clarity there, but we trying to get the sense that we're walking around like in a 3D movie called our life, okay? And this kind of material, this is obviously quite a deep topic, so I don't want to go too much into it because we only got 1 hour. But in Buddhism, the whole thing of shunyata, or emptiness, approaches this. Okay, shunyata, or emptiness, is saying, this is not solid and real like you think. You're in a movie, you know? So why not try to enjoy the movie you're in, okay? And tread lightly in this movie of your life. Okay, tread lightly in the movie of your life, but be very careful what you feed, because this movie has different channels. You know, there could be a desire channel or an anger channel, many different kinds of channels. So if these get triggered, different scenes or images appear in the movie. Like somebody does something, triggers anger, then an angry drama appears in the mind, okay? And then we make it solid and real. So 2 things are going on. Somehow we feed into anger, and then secondly, oh my God, this is really intense and solid and real, okay? So bear in mind the image of the movie, a 3D movie, okay? The neuroscience around this is very interesting because I watched a very interesting TED talk recently by somebody called Anil Seth, and we showed it on Holy Island at the recent MSc course retreat. And what this guy was saying was actually the latest neuroscience research is showing that the brain is hallucinating our conscious reality moment by moment. Moment by moment, our reality is being constructed in the brain like an hallucination. So what he was saying is we don't really know what's out there. What we do know is that the brain picks up something through the senses and it constructs a reality, okay? And we're actually living, as he put it, in a controlled hallucination. And that the brain is actually, it's hallucinating 2 things. It's hallucinating outer reality, which is actually all we really know about outer reality is its images that appear in our mind, and it's hallucinating our sense of me. Okay, so our sense of me and the sense of the world is not actually solid like we think it is, but it's like there's an illusory me in this 3D movie called our life. Okay, and when I watched that thing, I thought, this is amazing, because this is just like shunyata, emptiness. Okay, this is just like what the Buddha was saying, and it's like the neuroscience and the Buddhism are really coming together around this. But I don't want to go too much into this, but maybe just holding to that image that perhaps our experience of life is like being in a movie. Okay, so if you think about a movie isn't solid. A movie is like images, but the images occur with a kind of vividness, all right? So it's like a movie, and so it's not solid and not real. But the second point is that how we are acting is determining what images we experience, what scenes appear in the movie. Okay, so that's the other really important point. It's not solid and real, but this movie has channels, like a TV has different channels. It depends on what channel you push, what experience, what movie you're going to have. And if I think about the Buddhism, the heart of Buddhism is really that, that if you can get a feeling for the fact that particularly the drama in the mind is not solid and real like we think it is, then we can tread more lightly with it. Okay, we can realize that, man, this isn't like what I thought it was. I can start relating to my mind in a different kind of way. So the question then is, how do we practice in a way that we can start to get a feeling that our inner reality is not solid and real like we think it is? Like, how can we start getting that feeling, God, I'm in a movie, and let's have fun in this movie. Let's try to act in a way that I create the conditions for a good movie rather than a bad movie. Okay, so it's still better to be in a sort of a comedy or a sort of a good movie rather than some kind of real horror story. Okay, so so how do we approach this? How do we approach this? Because this can really make a big difference. Okay, and I think there's one thing in the training that we do, even in mindfulness and also in insight, which talks about self-arising. Whatever occurs arises by itself, it displays, and it liberates itself. I think Rob Nan used to endlessly talk about this. So whatever experience occurs in the mind, it arises, it displays, and it vanishes if we let it. Okay, if we let it do that. So the thing here is that whatever we experience at any moment, if we try to really pay attention to what is going on, we're going to find out that a whole lot of factors have shaped how we feel right now, like an infinite number of factors. Okay, what we're feeling right now, there are just many, many factors that have shaped it. If we really look at it closely, it's changing moment by moment. Okay, if we really look, so in a way, even what we're feeling now is intangible. Okay, it's not solid. It's a changing show with endless permutations. Okay, and so in a way, we can't even get a grasp on what we actually experiencing now. We can use words like I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling this, or I'm feeling that, but actually what's going on now is beyond our grasp. It's like infinite factors have shaped it, and it's changing all the time. Okay, so maybe the one thing to get a sense on is actually this is just a changing show moment by moment, if I look at where it came from, if I feel in a certain way, I didn't choose to feel like that. It just kind of happened. Okay, I sat down to meditate and I had a certain kind of experience. I didn't choose that. Okay, I didn't choose it. What appears, I can't really get a handle on it conceptually. I can't really grasp it, even if I try. And if I just leave that alone, it will change and vanish. Okay. So I thought to lead a little practice, because talking about this stuff is gets too intellectual. Because what really I think makes this work is if you really pay attention to moment by moment experience, and you just start to get a feeling that nothing here can be pinned down in any way. You know, there's no concept can really even describe how I'm feeling now. And it's just changing all the time. If I really look at it, it's changing. So if we can get a sort of feeling for that, then we can start to get a feeling for this movie we're in, because we realize that actually what's making it solid are the concepts and ideas that we're constantly imposing on this kind of changing moment by moment mystery of our life. Okay, so the more we come to actually what's going on, the more the concepts that we impose on it, I feel this way, I feel that way, I have this idea, I have that idea, they got no ground to stand on, because it's completely changing, like a river or like energy. Okay, so this sounds pretty intellectual, but let's maybe, what I would like to do is do a practice around it. But I think the other thing that really makes a difference here is bringing real kindness to whatever I'm feeling now. Okay, what I'm feeling now, if I pay attention to it, I can't pin it down. No concept describes it. It's changing. No word, nothing I can say about what I'm feeling now really captures it. That's the wisdom part. But nonetheless, I really bring a kindness, a kind of warmth to just what I'm feeling now. Okay, whatever it is. If I'm feeling good, there's a sense of rejoicing. If I'm feeling bad, there's a feeling of compassion. Okay. So I think when we bring these two together, the wisdom of seeing the emptiness of what's going on, okay? Buddhism would say shunyata, emptiness. The neuroscience would say it's like your brain hallucinating, okay? And if we bring the kindness, okay? If we bring the compassion and the kindness, then I think something can happen. Then I think something can really open up. It's almost like the mystery of life can open up, where we're not burdened by all these limiting concepts we tell ourselves, okay? So the wisdom and compassion come together, and it's like then the mystery of life can happen, okay, in a sort of vivid, fresh way. But I think what I like to do now is guide a little practice, keep it quite experiential, and then we could maybe explore this a bit. Okay, so once again, bringing your attention into the body. To the weight of your body on the seat or cushion. Really getting that feeling of grounding. And then bringing the attention once again to the breathing, like we did before. And allowing the breathing to bring you more fully into your body, into this moment. And then have a light focus on your breathing as a support. But keep that awareness of the body, and also keep that awareness of the body resting on the ground. Mind resting in the body, body resting on the ground. And now just notice how you are in this moment. Just tune into what's present for you right now. Maybe thoughts are occurring. Maybe you feel in a certain mood. Maybe the sensations occurring in your body. So with the breathing as a support and with the grounding of the body, allow yourself to just open up to how you're feeling in this moment. And then maybe pose the question a bit like a reflection. Did you choose to feel just like this now? Before you sat down for this session, did you sort of think, yeah, well, I think I'll feel in this particular way? A little bit of sadness, mixed in with a bit of tension, mixed in with a bit of irritation, mixed in with some discursive thoughts? Probably not. So maybe just noticing, reflecting how you're feeling right now just arose. You didn't choose it. Many conditions shaped it. How today went, how other people may be related to you, your basic patterns, tendencies. All of this contributed to how you're feeling now. Many causes, many conditions. So just getting that sense of this experience, how you feeling, I just arose from many causes and conditions. You didn't choose it. And now just tuning into how you're feeling in this moment. Noticing many things are going on. Feelings in the body, thoughts in the mind, movement of energy. So many factors are just, many things are occurring in this moment, all connected up in some way. So getting the sense that no concept really describes how you're feeling in this moment. So almost it's like allowing yourself to drop into the mystery of how you're feeling in this moment that no concept can describe. Many factors linked together, thoughts, feelings, emotions. And also noticing too how whatever's going on for you is changing moment by moment. What's going on in the body is changing. What's going on in the mind is changing. Feelings are changing. Nothing can be pinned down. So maybe allow yourself to just sort of drop into the mystery of this moment, which is changing moment by moment. No concepts can describe it. And then at the same time, see if you can bring a kindness to how you're feeling in this moment. You can use the gesture of the hand on the heart. Bringing a real warmth and kindness, particularly if there are painful edges to what you're experiencing now. And if you're feeling maybe a feeling of well-being, feeling good, then this gesture is one of rejoicing. So bringing the sense of warmth and kindness or rejoicing, while at the same time really connecting with the fact that everything in our experience is changing. Nothing can be pinned down. No concept can describe how we are. And we can maybe reflect, wow, how amazing. I'm in my own very unique movie. Let me enjoy it. And then placing the hands down and just resting. So maybe the resting can just be a very open focus where you're just sitting, you're not trying to meditate. Okay, so we can come out of that little practice